A very good evening and welcome to Network. My name is Sphumelele Zondi. Tonight we'll find out about a new smartphone maker hitting the South African market. We'll go to West Africa to meet up with some innovators in the clean electricity space. We'll also meet up with Sudanese apps developers. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's newsnetwork@sabc.co.za and email. Let's start with your social media and technology news. The Competition Tribunal has postponed its hearing on the Vodacom and Neotel deal indefinitely. This is to enable both parties to conclude discussions on a revised transactional structure.
Xiaomi, which primarily operates in China, is considered by many as the Apple of the East. According to the International Data Corporation, this year Xiaomi has become the world's third largest phone maker after Samsung and Apple. The company has made a name for itself by creating a mid-range Android phones at low cost and is currently targeting Africa.
We thought, let's keep it simple. Let's really have a value proposition consisting of what we believe to be the most affordable smartphone with the best capability in the market at 2,000 Rand. And then we're launching a flagship phone, the Mi 4, at 3,800 Rand. Because those two products together really show what we stand for. What we stand for is bringing the best possible technology at the lowest possible price to the consumers of South Africa, Nigeria and Kenya.
Even though Chinese products have been believed to be cheap knockoffs, it seems many South Africans are starting to believe that they are good quality products now.
So far, Huawei is a brand, it's a Chinese brand, and then so far it has proven itself. Right now, Huawei P8, right? Yeah, Huawei P8 is the most sold phone in the market.
Chinese products are known to be fake, they don't last forever, and I'm not a fan of Huawei.
In terms of the technology, I believe that they're far advanced and stuff, so one of those old perception that we have here from calling and stuff when it comes to the phone, I trust them.
The new Xiaomi phones will sell at about 4,000 Rand in South African market. They will be in stores this week.
All right, this is about Xiaomi, which is launching in the South African market this week. It's another Chinese phone to hit the South African market. Now, Africa has major electricity shortages. This can be seen by power cuts experienced by many regions of the continent. The recent West African Clean Energy Conference allowed some young innovators to showcase their electricity tech solutions. We caught up with some of them.
The West African Clean Energy Conference and Exhibition focuses also on promoting environmental protection, waste management and renewable energy development in the private and public sector in the region. Ghana's energy sector has been dogged by the inability of power producers to meet domestic demand. However, local entrepreneurs are already leading the way with innovations that can help many individuals or companies remain powered. In a small room in an impoverished section of Guinea's capital, Conakry, the young innovator is using everyday materials to try and solve a major problem for the neighborhood: a lack of electricity and soaring electricity prices for those who are connected.
What's important is to show that there is a possibility of generating electricity easily without having to spend too much. This engine, for example, consumes relatively less than it outputs.
Mamadou has taken steps to generate electricity using wind energy from makeshift turbines that tower above the informal settlement. He lights his workshop using his own generators that run on recycled materials. The generators use recycled materials like wood, old battery packs, and are run by bicycle wheels, producing between 400 and 700 watts of power. He's been working on his project since 2004 and has had no financial support. Kolo's work has baffled many, like Mamadou Doumbouya, who's been working with Kolo since he started the project 11 years ago.
He has evolved from when he was building turbines in one part of the village, where he was also installing solar panels, but having witnessed the lack of electricity.
Kola would like to see his innovation adopted and move to a more formal setting to be able to serve the population. And even as almost half of the continent struggles with energy inadequacies shortages, the flip side is that it gives innovators a chance to come up with projects to power their communities.
Apps and games developers have pretty much taught themselves to do what they do. They say the problem is getting funding for their work in Sudan. We spent some time with them.
Meet Walid
and
Habab
this is
and Abu Bakr.
among the ideas.
They have a dream, a big dream, technological development in Sudan. They're mobile content creators who are trying to push their product to the market.
You can see you can quit or
Walid and Habab design mobile games, while Abbas designs Sudan online mobile guides. It all began when the trio were in college.
My dreams or my aspiration for the future is to have to export Sudanese software, original Sudanese software. It's currently at the rate of 0 or something like that. Why don't we export Sudanese software? We have programmers, we have writers, we have coders, we have everything that we need to develop Sudanese software.
Unlike Walid, who studied computer science, Habab and Abbas studied mechanical engineering at the Sudan University. They started creating short mobile games, which they shared amongst themselves and friends.
I have 3 applications up today. One of them called Sudan Guide. This is my biggest application. Among the 3. Right now there's a beta version has been published in one mobile market. The main idea of Sudan Guide is like a guide for Sudanese and non-Sudanese people.
It's good.
The greatest challenge among the 3 designers is establishing a market for their work so as to make money and fund their projects.
Yes.
They have so far been dependent on free study guides from Microsoft and other sites. Due to the long-running civil war that has led to separation from the South and international trade sanctions, the country lacks a vibrant youth population, which would normally be the biggest consumer of their products. Habab and Abbas, with their group of mechatronics engineering inventors, MEI, hope to develop groundbreaking software that would give the country's technology market a boost.
WeChat South Africa launches a digital wallet feature, and hackers from the Anonymous Collective are protesting whale hunting. Here's what's been taking place in the rest of the tech space.
WeChat made headlines here in South Africa this week with the launch of its extended feature, a digital wallet service, at a celebrity-filled event in Johannesburg on Thursday. The company said that the WeChat wallet enables users to electronically send cash to friends and family, just like handing cash to a friend to get you lunch or pay for coffee or a drink at the bar.
World, we are anonymous. We are at Operation Killing Bay. Have been watching Iceland.
Activist hackers from the Anonymous Collective are at it again. Only this time, they're all about saving the whales. The hackers admitted that they were responsible for bringing down websites in Iceland in a protest against whale hunting by the North Atlantic nation. This video calling for people to hack websites linked to Iceland in protest of commercial whale hunting was posted by the hackers on social media this past week. Now moving over to France, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates announced that he will launch a multi-billion-dollar clean energy research. He will be joined by a group of developed and developing countries in the Clean Tech Initiative, in which countries will commit to doubling their clean energy technology research and development budget by 2020. The announcement was made at the opening day of the UN Climate Change Summit held in Paris earlier this week.
Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. After the break, we talk Vodacom's acquisition of Neotel with Lesiba Mutsada. Stay with us.
We kick off this week's show by seeing how Kenyans are paying tribute to the victims, as well as not only how they've coped, but how they returned stronger after the attacks.
Last year, images of the 4-day Westgate Mall attack saturated front pages.
In the Democratic Republic of Congo, artists have assembled to celebrate the peace this war-torn country has not had in a long time.
No conflict that can't be solved without a conversation.
The Journal, every Saturday at 1:30 on SABC News.
Welcome back. Now back to that Vodacom story where the Competition Tribunal has postponed its hearing on the Vodacom and Neotel deal indefinitely. This is to enable both parties to conclude discussions on a revised transaction structure.
Vodacom isn't saying what the specific issues they are ironing out are. But in a statement, South Africa's biggest mobile phone network provider says it is discussing the amended transaction structure with Neotel. Both parties are set to meet in roughly 2 weeks. They will then present the outcome of the discussion. This will then determine the resumption of the hearing on the acquisition. The statement says,
going forward is that we, together with Neotel, have until 7 December 2015 to inform the Competition Tribunal and intervening parties on the outcome of the discussions. A pre-hearing on this will be heard on the 10th of December 2015 to determine how we proceed.
Trying to acquire Neotel business for the past 2 years, but the other players in the market did not like this deal. They have been vocal about their discontent towards it. They say Vodacom is hawking both fixed line and cell phone networks.
Now joining us in studio to discuss tech companies' acquisitions and mergers is Lesiba Mutsada. He's the chief economist at Investment Solutions. Hello and thank you for being a part of our network once again.
Good evening, yes.
Now Lesiba, is there a possibility that the deal between Vodacom and Neotel will not go through?
You know, when I look at the details of it, increasingly it looks like it will go through. In July, the tribunal had made a ruling that they're likely to approve this. What is at stake right now? What is the nub of the discussion at the moment? It's the value, I think. The rands and cents, 7 billion rands that have been put up.
Is it too high?
Well, I don't know. If you think about what's happening, the CEO is coming out found wanting in terms of integrity. The CFO, there are also issues of integrity there. They too will go through a channel of discussions. I would imagine the lawyers will have to discuss whether they've been found wanting in terms of not being integrous, doing business properly, and all those suggest that which Vodacom is paying for, the value of it could materially be different. And you'll want to wait. You'll want to see the details of what's happening before you pay up.
And there's also an issue of other players crying foul here, and them saying that it's going to affect competition. What do you think they're going to say at the Competition Commission?
Yeah, so competition is a good thing when you get a few, operators fighting for a market. Normally that brings down the prices. But where we are now, it's expected that MTN will make a noise. It's expected that Cell C will make a noise. But the ruling that came out in July from the tribunal made a hint that they're likely to pass this. So I'm increasingly in the camp that it probably go through.
And Neotel came in as another fixed line operator in South Africa. They didn't really take off, did they?
No, it's been a decade now. It's been 10 years of them trying, and I think there are clear synergies between Vodacom and Neotel when you look at the details of it. Very much different when you look at Cell C and Telkom, for example, a discussion we can have at a different time. But if you look at those synergies, they're very clear. This will be very good for Vodacom. I think in the space of they talk about spectrum data. Vodacom is earning much revenue on the data side of things. Although on the voice, in fact, is expected to contract, but on the data side is doing well, and Neotel will plug into that hole in a big way in terms of innovation, in terms of infrastructure, and also in terms of just innovations in terms of where we go.
Let's unpack that a bit more. What really is at stake here? What is it that Vodacom really wants?
They want the ability to harness both fixed line and mobile, but also within that fixed line to service businesses, because they have a few revenue streams. They've got voice, which is retail or even corporate. They've got data, which is mainly corporates and us, individuals, but they've got services that they want to bolster. That will allow, on the fixed line basis, to have communications that are used by businesses and small and medium enterprises. That's what they're aiming.
And let's talk about Telkom's failed acquisition or attempt to buy Cell C. What happened there?
It's double the amount we're talking here. It's 14 billion. The synergies are less clear whether it was going to be a win-win for both parties. It just looked like the price, because remember, for companies, they hire CAs and accountants to sit down and do valuations of these assets. And when you get into overpay for a synergy that could be there but not very clear, it can be problematic. I'm not surprised that they walked away.
Should the South African consumer celebrate with all of this? Because let's say had the Telkom acquisition of Cell C gone through, there would have been one less mobile phone player.
Yeah.
And when this deal with between Vodacom and Neotel finally goes through, there's one less landline operator in the country. What should the consumer be thinking here?
It's a difficult one, because for corporates that are sitting, they'll celebrate a consolidation in the market. It gives them pricing power and margins can go higher. I'd actually like, as a consumer, I'd like more competition. I'd like a situation when data actually comes down. It's very expensive. Each time I look at my bill on a monthly basis on data, having just done one or two things online, it's exorbitant. Compared to all other countries in the world, I think we need to work on that data prices much more. So I would want more competition. I want more players in that market.
Do you think, though, that Telkom should have pushed harder, because they would have had millions more, about 20 million new subscribers or so?
Yeah. No, it's a difficult one, because Telkom, it's not clear whether it's a viable business. We don't know if they've repositioned themselves properly going forward in terms of taking the market share that they need to be doing. They've tried a few things with data, etc., and I don't think it worked all particularly well. So it's an institution that requires a revamp of strategy.
And Telkom has really been struggling to get into mobile, and because they were known for landlines, and but now no one is getting landlines anymore, are they?
Yeah. Normally, for corporates that have been in business for a long time, they get overtaken easily by innovator, a disruptor.
Yeah.
Think of Uber in this transport situation.
Yeah.
So in a similar way, you may find that the old dogs, the old behemoths, normally need to think a lot more harder than the younger ones.
Yeah, innovation sometimes is needed. Lesiba Mutsata, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Family.
All right. Now, this week we caught up with television presenter and MC Jerry Elston. She told us about her favorite piece of technology. It seems to embarrass her, though.
Hi, I'm Jerry Elston. I'm a humanitarian activist and a media personality. And this is really hard to tell you all because people are objecting to this, but my favorite gadget is still my BlackBerry. I love my BlackBerry. I've used BlackBerry since they came into the country. I'm now on the passport. I adore it. I'm at an event where all night people have been saying, you better put that thing away. But I love it. So until someone can tell me that my BlackBerry is not as smart as their whatever, I'll be a BlackBerry girl.
It's News Network at SABC.co.za, News Network at SABC.co.za, and email. Stay with us.
Your World makes it its business every evening to round up the leading local stories and international news to keep you informed all the time.
Make a date with Your World every evening for all the news headlines around the world to keep you abreast with knowledge.
Catch Your World for headlines across the world every Monday to Friday from 9 p.m, then Saturday and Sunday from 7 p.m.
It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. Now, high-tech toys seem to be a hit this year, but they also come at a high price. Producer Lebusi Jake got to spend some time with one of these kinds of toys, a robot by the name of Mechanoid. This robot dances, tells jokes, and is an overall cool toy. Take a look.
This is the Mechanoid G15 kid-sized personal robot.
Hey, I am the Mechanoid G15KS.
Mechanoid can be programmed to follow voice commands, thus enabling him to interact with human beings. He can also tell jokes and even pull a few dance moves. Mechanoid is almost 122 meters tall with a body that consists of 1,223 parts made by high-tech toy-making company Meccano. Assembling one of these babies will sure keep the kids occupied during the holiday season. Though looking rather complicated, the company says that it is an advanced yet easy-to-use robotics building platform. Other specifications of this cool high-tech toy include 8 smart servos localized in the arms and head that remember your moves, 2 motors to drive the feet, and LED eyes with over 500 colors. Mechanoid can be programmed and interact using a smart device such as a tablet. The app can be downloaded either on iOS or Android operating systems. Tell a joke.
Prepare yourself for amusement, human companion. Does an apple a day keep the doctor away? Yes, if you aim it well.
This high-tech toy may be a cool gift for the kids, only parents should know that they will be digging deep into their pockets to buy this robot that costs over 3,500 Rand.
But Mechanoid is really good fun. Let's see what some people are sharing in social media. Western area has been trending after a vehicle accident that killed 19 people. Pirates, Up the Bucks and Bugs have been trending in South Africa. This is because of the South Africans' loss to Etoile du Sahel from Tunisia. The two were playing in the CAF Confederations Cup final. Central African Republic has been trending in Kenya. This is because Pope Francis has arrived in the Central African country to end his tour of 3 African countries. That's all we have for you. We leave you with a video of Catholic Pope Francis's visits to Kenya and Uganda. He currently is in the Central African Republic to end his tour of the 3 African countries that he visited. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za and email. From me, Spumelele Zondi and the rest of the network team. Have a good one.